We're not even halfway into the international break, and not having Arsenal to watch is getting all Arsenal fans down. I feel it. I know you feel it, so I've decided to lift the mood today with a little episode of Arsenal Would You Rather. Yep, hello and welcome back to another episode of Arsenal Unfiltered, your 3 times a week dose of Arsenal content with other Arsenal fans. My name is Mark, and today I'm going to answer 3 would you rather questions around Arsenal, around our current state. And stick around for the last one, because I think the last one is the most interesting one we've got. It's about trophies we could win this year, and we know how much that matters to all of us. So let's get straight into it. I've got 3 would you rathers, like I said. And the first one, I'll say it twice so that everyone's really clear on it. Would you rather sign a world-class forward in January but lose either Saliba or Gabriel for the rest of the season, or stick with the current attacking options and keep those players fit? Would you rather sign a world-class forward in January but lose Saliba or Gabriel for the rest of the season, or stick with the current attacking options and guarantee those players are fit? Saliba and Gabriel stay fit. Ooh, tough one. So I've generated these using ChatGPT and then a little bit of editing myself. I did that basically about an hour ago. I haven't really thought about them, so I am going to go with my thoughts on the fly. So last year, we had Saliba and Gabriel for basically every single game, and they were our rock, weren't they? We built performances off what they did at the back, and I think quite rightly they were touted as the best centre-back partnership in the league, if not Europe, last year. So to lose one of them would be pretty significant. I mean, we've played without Saliba once this year. We lost him from the red card he got at Bournemouth. We played without him at Liverpool, and we saw Ben White step into that role alongside Gabriel. And I wonder, we're talking from January, right? So could a back four of Timber, White, Gabriel and Calafiori go and win the league? Maybe. Or alternatively, Timber, White, Saliba, Calafiori. That would also work. So we're losing one of them. We don't know which one. It's tricky. It's tricky not to be biased to our current scenario, right? Because we're not scoring enough goals at the moment. So to get in someone like Gyökeres, to get in a Benjamin Sesko who might add that to us, maybe even a Rodrigo, who knows? It does say world-class forward in the question, so I think you've got to be realistic. We're not pulling out Kylian Mbappe, are we? So I think I might go for that. Just, I want to say I wouldn't go for that because I want to believe that Gabriel Martinelli, after this international break, is going to hit absolute flames. I want to believe that Jesus and Sterling can contribute from the bench. But where I'm at right now is I don't think that that's going to happen. I want it to happen, but do I really believe that's going to happen? Maybe. I don't think Jesus or Sterling are going to get the minutes, like I said in the last pod, to play their way back in. I don't think Arteta's going to give them the minutes to play their way back into form. And actually, that's probably made my decision for me. I don't think Arteta will give those guys the minutes to play their way back into form, which means we need more goals. We need more attacking firepower, especially now Martin Odegaard's back. So I think a back four that has White, Timber, Calafiori and one of Saliba and Gabriel in there would do the job, and I would take a new forward in January to try and win this league. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. We are on Blue Sky. I'm going to publish this episode there, so get involved on Blue Sky and let me know what your answers to these questions would be. Next one. Would you rather Arsenal win the Premier League this year, but Mikel Arteta must leave the club to do so, or guarantee Mikel Arteta at the club for 5 more years with the potential of winning many more trophies? So would you rather Arsenal win the Premier League this year, but Mikel Arteta must leave the club to do so, or guarantee Mikel Arteta stays at the club for 5 more years with the potential to win many more trophies? Oh, okay. So I think basically what that question is saying is, do you think Mikel Arteta can win more than one Premier League in the next 5 years? Or, I guess, can we get someone better than Mikel Arteta after a Premier League victory? I think that's a really difficult one because I desperately want us to win a big trophy. I want to win the Premier League. I think Mikel Arteta has done a fantastic job. But as much as I want Arsenal to win the Premier League, there is a big bit of me that wants it to be with Mikel Arteta because of the journey he's taken us on, because he feels like this is his group of players. We've fallen in love with these group of players, but I think Mikel Arteta is intrinsically linked to them. It feels like his team, a team in his mould, a team in his style, and I think he deserves it for everything that's gone on. He came in 3 months, bang, COVID. Took a lot of stick after the 8th place finish in his second season. He's taken a lot of flack from Arsenal fans when it's not gone well. Arsenal fans on Twitter and on social media are notoriously, or some elements of Arsenal fans I should say, are notoriously reactionary. And we all need to calm down a little bit on that, right? We need to hold that mirror up to ourselves. And he's taken a lot of stick about it. I would love to see him win the Premier League. So, does that stop me? I think he will win the Premier League, and I think if he had another 5 years at this club, I think he definitely would win the Premier League. So the question is, am I willing to wait? Am I willing to wait for it? I think I would be. I think I would guarantee Mikel Arteta at the club for the next 5 years, simply because I don't know who else we'd get that's better, right? The manager market is not flush with brilliant options at the moment. And even those brilliant options, we had Unai Emery in for a bit. And he is a fantastic manager, a top draw manager. We're seeing that at Aston Villa, how well they're doing in the Champions League. It just wasn't the right fit for Arsenal. So even if you go and find a manager, who is on paper better than Mikel Arteta, might not even work. So I think let's stick with Mikel Arteta. I think in the next 5 years he'd win 2, maybe 3 Premier Leagues, a couple of other trophies, and give him that time. And we just, in that scenario, we need to wait, have 1 more year of patience. Okay, on to the final question, and this is my favourite question of them all that I came up with and ChatGPT helped do, and I think it's the most interesting one. So here we go. Would you rather reach the Champions League final and have a 50-50 shot at winning it, or guarantee victories in both the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup this year? So would you rather reach the Champions League final and have a 50-50 shot at winning it, or guarantee victories in both the FA Cup and Carabao Cup this year? So basically, you can either have a coin toss at the Champions League, or you've got both of the slightly less prestigious trophies in the bag for this year. And that's such a hard one because we as Arsenal fans know that the Champions League is the one we really don't have, right? And that stick is often used to beat us by the other clubs, the other big clubs. Manchester City have one now, United have many, Liverpool have many, Chelsea have a couple. We need one. We need one so bad, and I think the pain of 2006 still lives with so many of us that were around at that time. To have a 50-50 shot at the Champions League would be magnificent. It would be so good. But at the same time, 50-50 shot is not a guarantee. Obviously, right? That's part of it. To guarantee an FA Cup and Carabao Cup double, do I think that sets us up in a better... I made this point on the last pod, actually. We need to win something. We need to set ourselves up to be a winning club again. Would having those guaranteed victories help us do that? It's a really tough one for me, that really, really tough one, and that's why I think it's such an interesting question. Like I mentioned before, if you follow me on Blue Sky, if you follow Arsenal Unfiltered on Blue Sky, let me know your answers to this question especially, because I'd be really interested to know what people think. Would you rather reach the Champions League final and have a 50-50 shot at winning it, or guarantee victories in both the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup this year? I think I'd go 50-50 shot at the Champions League. It just means more. I do believe we need to win, something, an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup, and we can't turn our noses up at them. We absolutely can't. We need to win something to be back in that winning mentality, the winning ways. But to have a flip of a coin to win the Champions League, the one that we haven't got, the one that caused us so much pain for so many years, that we were always in it, but we could never get past the round of 16 for a few years, and the 2006 final, all that pain, to have a 50-50 shot at redeeming that, I think we have to take that. I think we have to take that. Yeah, interesting one. That was the Would You Rather episode during this international break. Hang in there. Arsenal will be back soon. I think it's about 8 days. 8 days at time of recording that we will be back versus Nottingham Forest, and I'll be covering that game. As ever, if you like this episode of Arsenal Unfiltered, or you like any of the episodes of Arsenal Unfiltered, please do consider giving me a follow. I'm really trying to grow the community. I'm enjoying doing the podcasting and would love to get more people listening, more people engaged. So yeah, drop us a follow, would really help out. But like I say, that was the Would You Rather podcast. Thank you for following, thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.